Well, Meritage wines have been around for, well, literally hundreds if not thousands of years in terms of the concept of the art of blending. The Meritage Alliance is an organization of, gosh, over 200 different wineries around the world that came together to come up with a name or a classification for wines blended in the classic Bordeaux tradition. Originally it was the term merit and heritage combined together. Again, to come up with a classification or a synonym for wines that were blends. And these wines had to be a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, and Malbec if it is a red wine. And then Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon and a few obscure others if it's a white wine.
Blending philosophy is really very simple. Why have one when you can have five? Not to mention 5 unique varieties from the same family. And each of them contributes something unique that makes the wine better. In blending, it's just like great painting. You take the bases and you make beauty. And all those shades and colors create a vibrancy that doesn't exist with just one. You know, the magic of Meritage wines is their balance, because it's not sharp edges from one single element. You take the best elements and you blend them together to create a seamless, perfect wine.
Well, you can actually create wines of more complexity, more diversity on the palate. The synergy of the varietals, I should say, it creates a wine of different dimension. And that's very important. That wine's not a Cabernet. It's not really to be tasted with Cabernets. It's not a Merlot. It's not a Cabernet Franc. And there's that magical synergy between them that really creates a wine of a different breed. I was always kind of enthralled with the magical characteristics when you put Cabernet Franc, and Merlot together, and how you really create wines of different dimension.
Meritage to me is the classic blend of Bordeaux, but done domestically. Merit and heritage together form Meritage. Is when you go to Bordeaux, you will never find 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. You will never find 100% Merlot. It's just one of those things that blending is an art. And each vintage, you have different parts of that art.
From a food and wine perspective, the thing I like most about Meritage wines is the fact that they're very complex. Being a chef, and always combining ingredients in a lot of ways kind of reflects what's done in the bottle with a Meritage wine, taking the different components, So I think in a lot of ways, it's similar to what we do in the kitchen. With Meritage wines, it's really showing the character of the winemaker. Where the winemaker has all these components and able to really kind of express, the way he feels about blending different components to make a Meritage wine.
And if you're a steakhouse doing cab by itself, that's great. But with very interesting California cuisine infusions, having Cab plus Merlot plus maybe some Franc over here gives me so much more flexibility of what I can pair it with.
Meritage wines have a unique ability to truly elevate a dish, because you're not just focusing on one specific ideal.
Meritage wines probably pair better than maybe any other varietal, at least in terms of red wines. They offer balance and elegance and approachability. The tannins tend to be softer, so they're drinkable generally in their youth. And they don't overpower foods. I think it's just that elegance factor, and that can only come from blending.
What Meritage brings is a complexity, that there's all these different components that come together, and when it's done well, it's a very magical approach.
I just love its flexibility and the diverse kinds of palates that it can be appealed to.
What are you waiting for? You will find a great new world and a great new experience in Meritage wines, both red and white, and you'll wonder why you've missed them up to this point.
Meritage wines appeal to very serious wine drinkers, and I think also people who are in their discovery mode. So I don't think there's one demographic for the Meritage drinker, other than the fact that they absolutely love wine, and they love wines of finesse and balance and elegance. I think that's one of the greatest things about Meritage wines.